Hey folks, Kofi Annan here from the Brand Sensei. If you're a health business owner with a lot of expertise but empty appointment slots, you know that feeling. The feeling when you're posting online every week and Tuesday at 2 o'clock, it's still wide open. And you're refreshing your booking app like, seriously? That empty slot is money you don't get back. But here's the paradox. What's frustrating is you're actually good. People watch, they like, they save, they even DM you. But when it's time to book, they vanish. So you do the only logical thing. Post more. That's what everybody does. But what I've learned is that more content doesn't equals more bookings. So you're asking, what are people using to decide who to book with? That's what we're going to cover in this video. We're going to talk about the fastest way to build trust and book more appointments without posting more. I'm going to break down the three-part trust formula that makes people choose you before you even meet. And I'm also going to talk about the exact shifts needed to turn attention into trust and then trust into bookings. If we haven't met yet, I'm Kofi Annan. I've spent the past 10 plus years leading growth and customer acquisition for 50 plus health and wellness brands. And over that time, I've watched people's health and wellness buying decisions and behaviors change almost overnight. So what changed? Well, they're not booking the most helpful clinic. They're booking the safest next step. The old path used to be you share information, you build credibility, and that credibility leads to more booked appointments. But here's the thing. AI made information cheap and instant. So helpful content no longer stands out. People don't need more advice. They need the safest next step. The practices that win aren't the ones who share the most information. They're the easiest to trust. And here's the trust formula. Let's break it down. Trust is built through 3 signals. First is information, that's what we just talked about, and that gets you attention. Then there's implementation, which creates belief. So it answers, will this work for me? And then there's interactions, which creates confidence. And then have them thinking, this will be easy and safe. And if you want to know which ones of these you have to work on the most, I've built a free 3-minute trust leak scorecard. It'll help you know where trust is leaking in your practice in an instant. So you could comment trust below, or you could grab it in the link in the description. So the thing is, you have to use information the right way. Most businesses only deliver information. Now, information still matters. But as support, you can use it to reduce anxiety and increase clarity. You could help people feel, what happens next? What does it cost? What does the results look like? What can I expect? The 2 bigger questions buyers are asking after they get information is, can you get results for someone like me? That's implementation. And will this feel clear, easy, and supported? And that's interaction. So how do you build implementation trust? Here are some ideas. First, don't just post information. Post processes, not just the answers. Show the steps someone goes through to get the results, especially with you. Another thing to share is use constraints. You want to communicate who it's for and who it's not for. You want to easily have them understand what happens first. And then also what happens if it doesn't work. Another shift that you can lean into is to use the client language. As people with deep expertise, we're used to talking with medical knowledge or health jargon. But you got to speak in the words your clients use, not just the industry jargon. They need to understand it in their own terms, how they talk about it outside of dealing with your service. So, how do you build interaction trust? Here are 3 fixes. One of the biggest gaps in a lot of health and wellness practices that I've seen is the speed. And that's the first thing you have to fix. The faster the response, the safer it feels. Think about the last time you reached out to a business and you didn't get a response for 24 hours, 1 hour, or you had to leave a voicemail and then they got back to you. Imagine how that made you feel and whether that built trust with you, with that business, or it diminished it. That's how your clients or patients, potential clients or patients will feel. So fix that speed. Fix 2 is simplicity. Use one clear next step. Don't make it a scavenger hunt. Don't give them multiple options of how they could reach out to you, the different forms they have to fill out first. Should they message you on the platform that they see you? Should they go to your website? Again, simplify how they're interacting with you. Again, that builds trust because there's a direct line between them hearing about you and them reaching out and knowing clearly how best to interact with you. And that sets the boundaries and sets the tone for what they expect the interaction is going to be with you afterwards. So again, you want to start building that trust early. And then finally, fix that tone. Again, you don't want to be speaking in jargon, but then also your tone must be warm. It must be direct. It's all about human communication. Even if you're using AI to develop some of that content, you have to make sure that it comes across in your voice and it builds warmth and trust with the people who you might want to work with. So here's a recap. We talked about the information, the one that you always post, that you're constantly focused on and you're posting already, and how that information builds attention. But then you have to look at implementation. How are you implementing and communicating how you help them get the results? Because that creates belief. And then the interactions. How are they interacting with you? How are you setting the tone for how and where and the context for how they are reaching out to you, and then how easy it is for them to book with you. And if you want to pinpoint your exact trust leak, remember I have that free 3-minute trust leak scorecard. And you can get free access to that by commenting trust below or grab the link from the description. So here's what you do next. Don't overhaul everything. Don't take it all at once. You have to build a little bit at a time. You have to fix a little bit at a time. And that trust leak scorecard will help you figure out what to start with first. Then you want to tighten one trust leak in your journey this week. And if you want to see how Trust First client acquisition system works in action, you can take a look at one of the video that's popped up now to see how people see you and how best to start building that trust. Because posting more shouldn't be your focus. You have expertise and you need to be building trust and driving those bookings.